Hi guys!
Hi!
Hi, haven't seen you in a long time. So how are you doing today and how can I help you?
Okay, so I was thinking about getting some Invisalign braces. And I don't know too much about how it all works, so if you could just tell me a little bit more about the process and how long it takes.
Okay, so thank you for asking. So Invisalign has been so popular amongst all my patients nowadays. It's suitable for all ages, and it's basically you'll be given a few sets of custom-made aligners, and you wear it for over 20 hours a day. So the course of treatment varies in every patient.
Okay, I'm gonna have to just stop you there. Can you stop a second? Because I can't really hear what you're saying. I'm sorry, I've forgotten to take my hearing aid with me today. Would you be able to take your mask off and repeat what you just said there to me, please, just so I can read your lips?
Oh Maria, I'm so sorry about that. I really wish I could take off my mask, but we're living in strange times at the moment, and we have to be protected with all these protective gear on. And yes, that's the new world of COVID.
Okay, then I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to follow everything that you're saying if you have to leave all the PPE on.
I'm just afraid that you just have to put up with it.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E. Yeah. You know who's back up in.
Sorry. Okay, so just tell us more about your general thoughts and the interaction between the patient and the dentist in the video.
It's really hard to hear people when you've got all that PPE on and stuff, especially the FFP3 mask, right? It's so difficult to hear what people are saying. So you can kind of understand where the guy's coming from, that he can't hear her properly.
Yeah, I think that you actually have to actively try a lot harder to get the patient to understand what you're trying to say. So you probably have to enunciate a bit more with your words and speak as loudly as possible.
Yeah, and a lot of the subtleties of the communication with the patient's taken away because they can't see your facial expression or if you're smiling or frowning or anything like that. So it's quite difficult to get your point across anyway, never mind the fact that this patient's hard of hearing.
Yeah, so I think maybe one way you could get around that is maybe you should hand the patient a information leaflet maybe. So instead of a verbal communication, you can use a written form of communication.
Yeah,
instead.
if they had something written down, that might be better for them to read. It's a shame the patient didn't have their hearing aid with them because that would have helped as well.
So yeah, those were really, really good points. Thanks, guys.
Alright then, Karen, I think we're ready for our next patient. Would you mind getting him in for me, please?
Oh, is this the one that can't even speak English? Took us forever to get his pain history last time.
Yeah, I think that's the guy, but we need to get his consent for a root canal today, so if you could just get him in, we'll rush through the consent process and we'll get off for lunch because I'm starving.
Fine, I'll go get him in.
Hi there, please take a seat. Okay, sir, can you just confirm for me your name and date of birth, please?
My name Yo Wei Hao. Date of birth is 1 month 30 and 9/6.
Okay, so you remember the last time you were in, we took an x-ray of your tooth and the tooth was absolutely knackered, okay? You understand?
Naked.
Yeah, it was knackered. There was a really big hole in the tooth at the back there, which basically means that we only have two options for how to treat that tooth. One of which is that we take the tooth out, and the other is that we do a root canal treatment. Okay, you understand? Root canal treatment? Okay, so when we discussed this at the last appointment, you said that because you're young, you wanted to keep the tooth, so you don't want it extracted, right? Is that right? You understand? So we've decided that we would like to go ahead and do a root canal treatment, okay? So I'll explain a little bit about what a root canal treatment is, okay? So
basically what we'll do is we'll drill into your tooth.
I'm sorry, what?
So the money, how much money?
Ah, yes. How much it's going to cost? Right, sorry, I should have explained that to you before. So, we're doing a root canal in an upper tooth at the back. There are sometimes 3, sometimes 4, maybe 5 canals in that tooth. So the charge that we have for each canal is about £1,000, okay? So you can do the maths and add up that number of canals. And then we have to add on top the cost of the crown. So that's probably about another £1,000. And then we've got a few extra little incidental costs, like we need to take a couple of x-rays, so they're added in on top. So all in all, we're probably talking, oh, I don't know, somewhere between £3,000 and £5,000.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I cannot talk English. Yeah, I don't know what you said.
Right. So what do you guys think about that video?
Okay, so we picked up a few problems while watching the video, and the first red flag was the clear language barrier between the Chinese-speaking patient and the dentist, and as well as the nurse as well. So one very important thing he forgot to engage was a translator. So he knew beforehand that the patient couldn't speak English because he had an appointment with him before, and he didn't even bother to even phone the language line or suggest to the nurse to phone the language line, and he tried taking matters into his own hands, which was a big no-no. So regarding translators, this is from what we know, there are two categories, so emergency scenarios and non-emergency scenarios. So from what I know, for an emergency scenario, official translators via the language line should always be the first point of call. So if the language line isn't available, for example, if it's out of hours and stuff, a staff member who speaks the language of the patient should be engaged. And if the clinic's really busy and the staff's not available, then we should engage the accompanying family member. But the accompanying family member should never be the first point of call, because there might be biasness, and the family member might take the consent for them, and you might not know. Stuff might get lost in translation.
That's right.
So, and for routine appointments, like non-emergency appointments,
which is this case.
Which is in this case.
Yeah, in this case, the dentist clearly knew that this patient was coming in, and this patient did not speak the language. So he definitely should have called the translator up beforehand
language line,
and make sure that the translator is present during the appointment. But he did not do it.
Yeah.
So in this case, if the translator is not present, then another appointment should be made, because any consent made during this appointment is not considered to be valid if the patient does not even understand what the dentist is on about. Yeah, and another huge problem in this video that we can see is that the dentist did not bother to explain the cost to the patient until the patient brought it up himself.
Yeah. So from what I know, in all UK practices, you have to put a basic breakdown of your costs at the reception. So basically a laminated sheet of paper for the patients to see. But in the event that the patients don't see this, the dentist should always give a full breakdown of the costs involved. So for example, incidental costs, root canal costs, and an exact number, so that the patient can digest this information, and the patient has the right to know about costs because they are the ones paying for it. And
this should all be done before the patient even makes a decision on whether they want to proceed with, for example, root canal or an extraction, because it is a part of the valid consent process. Conclusion is that this was a bad appointment.
Yes, and always engage a translator.
Missing someone.
Hello, I've got Rudy here for his appointment. Just checking that there's a dog interpreter available. There was one last time and he was quite nervous, and he likes to have things explained to him properly.
Okay. Hi, yes, so Rudy will be seen by one of our new VT dentists today, Dr. Finlay Herd. He speaks fluent dog, so you shouldn't need an interpreter. If you just want to take a seat in the waiting area, they'll just come and get you. Okay.
Right, come on, this way. Sit.
Rudy, please.
I'll pick you up in half an hour.